folks, I'm here with Irma Matos, who is running for Miami Springs City Council. Irma, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
I know you've been talking to residents, but this gives people an opportunity to get to know or learn a little bit more about you. So let's start there and tell us a little bit about your background and what you do for a living.
Well, I am a Cuban refugee who came to the United States in 1970, one of the freedom flights, and I am proof of the American dream. That's a short version of it. I'm an entrepreneur, real estate investor, award-winning author, speaker, consultant. I had my own property management company that I ran for 33 years. I am also a missionary, and out of everything that I've done, missionary work is the one that I'm most proud of because I learned great lessons while I was in the mission. And in order to grow and learn, you have to be uncomfortable. Yep. And that was extremely uncomfortable, as there was no air conditioning, right, no hot water, no phone, no internet, and it was extremely hot. But I wouldn't change that experience for anything. It was very rewarding, and I was greatly blessed and learned a lot of life lessons, which I have included in my book, A Noble Profession.
Oh, look at that.
Life lessons to inspire your soul and live in abundance. And to me, the noble profession is the teaching profession, because I had great teachers in my life, one in particular who taught me how to speak better English.
Okay.
And in my book, I share my life lessons so people don't reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And I pay homage and honor the teaching profession.
As I say, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
So, on the real estate side, where were you doing most of your investment? Was it here in South Florida or in another state?
Well, years ago, it was here in South Florida. Now it's in other states.
Okay. And have you always lived here in South Florida, or have you've moved around?
No, every time I set foot off the plane coming from Cuba, I've been in Miami.
Okay. And so you arrived in Cuba, what, in the 60s?
1970.
1970, okay. And then my understanding is you immediately started school here in the area.
I went to the junior high right here in Miami Springs. I went to the high school. I graduated from the high school. I served in many clubs.
Got it.
In the high school.
So when you were in Springs, were you already living in Miami Springs, or were you in like South Hialeah?
No, I was living in Hialeah when I was coming to school here.
Right.
I bought my house here almost 32 years ago.
Okay. Tell us a little bit, if you don't mind me asking, because I ask because I love this story, because it's near and dear to me. Same kind of situation. Grew up in Hialeah, able to move here into the Springs. So tell us your journey from, let's say, growing up in Hialeah and moving over to Miami Springs.
Well, when I arrived, that's where my family went to live, because we had friends there, and so we went to live in a building where they were living. Right. That's where we found a place to live, and I started to come to school here. I had to walk I had to take the bus first, and then walk from Hialeah Drive to the junior high, which is about like 10 blocks, right, something like that, and then the same thing going back. So the other day I was going down East Drive, and I crossed the bridge to Hialeah, and I'm like, I remember this.
And I'm assuming you were also doing the catwalk when you were at the high school.
What catwalk?
The crossing from Hialeah on the catwalk?
No.
Or you were...
I was on the east side.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I spent quite a few years in Hialeah, and then after I started my business. I started to look for a place here in Miami Springs. I always loved Miami Springs. And I was born in Matanzas, Cuba, and I always call Miami Springs my second Matanzas. So I just love it here.
Yeah. And so you've lived here then for the last 30-some years?
32 years.
32 years. And what do you say you've always loved it here, but what do you love most about Miami Springs, or what do you appreciate the most about living here?
It's smack in the middle of town.
Right.
You can get anywhere in 15 to 20 minutes. Half an hour, tops, depending on traffic. But it's right in the middle of Dade County. So that's a great thing. And I love the trees, the beauty of it, the feeling of safety,
Right.
The small town feel. You can walk.
Right.
You can talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
People say good morning, good afternoon. In other places,
Yeah.
people look at you and nothing happens. Nobody says anything. So here is very friendly.
Yeah.
And just great.
And now, so you've lived here the last 30 some years. You've obviously been accomplished in business. What got you motivated to run for political office? Have you ever run for political office in the past?
No. This is my first time in politics. I thought that being here, living here so many years, and enjoying, the quality of life here,
Right. Yeah.
that it was my turn to give back to the community. It was my turn to serve.
Right.
And service is my passion. I'm always doing something. I'm
Yeah.
always serving. I serve at my church. I'm part of the pastoral council
Okay.
at St. Louis Catholic Church.
Right.
And I'm always, obviously I went as a missionary to Mexico, so it was another service. So I'm always doing something, and I'm always serving the communities in some form.
And so, if you win on election day and you get on council, what are some of your top priorities?
Well, I want to keep Miami Springs the wonderful place that it is to live.
Right.
I want to make sure it stays that way. And I want to improve it in any way that I can. And I understand that we need to do some cleaning up in 36th Street.
Yeah.
And try to bring businesses to improve or to raise the tax base.
Right.
And make sure that we stay the safe place that we are. I also am thinking of starting like a campaign called Save the Children.
Okay.
And bringing aware to the community, making people aware of predators and
yes.
human trafficking and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff that's been going on. That we might not see it here, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right. Or in our periphery of our neighborhood.
And I heard a couple of stories the other day from 36th Street.
Yeah.
So I would like to bring awareness to the community to make sure that our children are safe, and that we never have to live any type of school shooting situation.
Right. Right.
And I think I'm a woman of faith.
Right.
And I think God has been kicked out of a lot of places by the society, and we need to bring him back.
Okay.
Because children need to learn about the golden rule.
Right.
Do unto others as you would like others do unto you. If we all lived by that rule, we wouldn't have any conflicts, we wouldn't have any problems, everybody would be happy, and definitely we wouldn't have any school shootings. I think about that because that has to be something like devastating.
Yeah.
And I would never, I would just wouldn't want that to happen here.
Everyone says, "Oh, that's something that doesn't happen," or something you see on TV. But when the Parkland shooting happened, it definitely hit closer to home. Being down here, and
exactly.
God willing, we never have to experience that here in Miami-Dade County, or much less in Miami Springs. So keep praying on that one.
Yeah.
That's a serious matter with hopefully we never have to deal with here in Miami Springs. As far as you've been talking to residents and getting your name out there. When you're talking to residents, what are you hearing? What's kind of like big things that you're hearing from residents that may be either common or kind of a big issue to residents?
Well, safety.
Right.
Especially closer to 36th Street.
Okay.
Also the issue of the bed tax.
Yep.
That we're not getting. And we need to find out why. Like I said before, this is my first time in politics, so That would be something that I would have to find out about and research and ask questions and see why we're not getting that bed tax, and if there's a possibility that we can get it.
Yeah. The short version of it is the state of Florida banned municipalities from allowing a bed tax to be applied, and certain municipalities were grandfathered in, like the city of Miami and Miami Beach were grandfathered in. Miami Springs, which on a per population basis has one of the highest amount of hotels, was not grandfathered in that situation because we didn't have a bed tax beforehand. And so it sounded like a few sessions in the Florida Congress or in the State House that it came close, and we have our Brian Avila, who was fighting to get it to go through, and apparently didn't go through. But the city has been fighting to make that happen for probably the last 6 or so years.
Wow.
To try to get that to go through. But it is something that would dramatically, if we can get that to pass, it allows us to support the police officers more effectively, as I think the stat that I've heard thrown around is something like 40% of police calls end up at a hotel on 36th Street or in the Lejeune corridor. So,
yes.
So definitely that's a big item that would be a major help to Miami Springs. Go ahead.
And I found out that you don't have to be a police officer to issue tickets.
Okay.
To issue a citation,
Right.
traffic citation. You can hire people to do that,
Right.
but they don't have the authority to arrest,
Right.
and they cannot carry a firearm.
Right.
But they can certainly carry a Byrna.
They carry a what?
A Byrna.
A
Byrna. Byrna is like a gun
Okay.
that would put out the person for X number of minutes. I think it's like 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Okay.
But it won't kill you.
Got it. Okay.
You know, so if we can get people that would take care of the traffic tickets, and obviously they need to be safe and be able to defend themselves. And with that type of gun, the Byrna, they can defend themselves without killing anybody.
Right.
And
so you would want to support staffing, augmenting the staff, with having some folks to help more with ticketing, to help balance the force, to use the police officers for more
crime.
For crime.
Yeah,
Okay,
the police officers should be fighting crime.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And another issue that was brought to my attention, and I already knew about it because every time I need a pharmacy, I have to go to Hialeah.
Yeah.
We need a pharmacy here in Miami Springs.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, and somewhere on 36th Street, you know.
You would think that with 36th Street and the airport and all the hotels, that a Walgreens or CVS would open up along 36th Street somewhere, so that they could service all the folks staying at a hotel. I mean, we got 14,000 residents plus however many people are staying at a hotel every night. That's more than enough to support a Walgreens or CVS within our community.
I would imagine. And there is a lot there across from the Wyndham Hotel.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know who it belongs to, but I think it's pretty big that a pharmacy could go there.
So, and I suspect that, and I've thought about this. You bring this up as something that some kind of multi-story where you have maybe the pharmacy and the ground, maybe the first 2 floors, and then you have something else above it with maybe a garage or whatever. Because I've seen, we've all been to New York and some of the places where there is no parking, but they'll have a CVS, in different, not in fact, in a lot closer proximity in many cases. And it just boggles my mind that we don't have one. Or a Walgreens, whatever. I'm agnostic. I don't care what it is, but something that would better serve our community.
Exactly.
And the folks who are staying at a hotel on 36th Street.
That too.
So, what else are you hearing, from residents in terms of other hot topics or issues or anything that may have surprised you?
Basically, well, they don't. Some people didn't like the new place on the Circle.
Right.
What's the name of the?
Oh, the
corner?
new development on the
right,
Circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard from people that weren't thrilled about that.
Right.
Because it kind of changes a little bit, changes the atmosphere of the
city,
of the town.
Yeah.
So that was a comment that I heard.
Yeah.
But it's done.
Yeah. Now we have to.
So now we just
learn how to deal with it.
we have to stay, like be on the lookout for
Right.
whatever else is going to come, and make sure that it conforms to the atmosphere that we want to keep.
And I think the biggest issue people had with that one is also the one was the mix, the type of mix of property with residential and commercial, and two was the amount of parking or lack thereof.
Right.
And that was has been a constant discussion since it was initially planned and brought to the city.
Another thing is apparently there's on the park that's by Lee Drive and LeBaron.
Was it Reagan Park?
There's like a little park there.
I think that's Reagan.
The residents in that area told me that there are vagrants hanging around and sleeping on the picnic tables at night.
Yeah.
And they don't feel there's enough policing of that area.
Right.
Yeah, that's another issue.
The number of vagrants pre-COVID, right, wasn't a thing. And you've been here for a long time, but to me it felt like during COVID, when they had folks here on some of the hotels on Lejeune, and it caused a whole sort of problem, and it feels like we haven't really fixed it after COVID, and that there's still a thing where we'll have vagrants come in, and I'm just speaking. I sometimes run or skate in the morning and pre-dawn, and there have been times I see someone sleeping on a bench. I'm like, what is this? This is Miami Springs. What's going on over here? So we shared a little bit about some of the things that you've heard about. What about, have you heard anything about traffic or issues with the circle? What are you hearing there?
Well, there was a comment about that circle that they created on East Drive.
Yes.
The person that talked to me about it, and she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy about that.
On the other hand, but that circle does slow people down. You have to slow down to go through that.
Yeah, that's what those circles are for.
Yeah, it's to help, what's it called? Not traffic mitigation, but basically speed mitigation, right? Where it helps to slow down drivers. It's been come up, while the cops I think are doing a pretty good job, especially with Castillo now, really in terms of enforcement of traffic, but they can't be everywhere all the time, and things like that, or speed bumps and speed humps. I feel like there could be more of that in Miami Springs. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we can definitely do that, and that would free up the police.
Yeah.
To do more important things.
We also reported, I think it was last year, we're averaging something like an accident every 10 days on the circle. With the circle, you remember how the circle used to be, got redesigned, and you'd think that redesign would have made things better, and there's an accident there. The average was like once every 10 days.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on making changes to help make it safer?
It's already done. I mean, they did that already.
Right. You think that any improvements could be made to the circle there?
I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that, but I didn't mind it before.
Right.
I'm not sure why they changed it.
Yeah. All right. And anything else that you want to share with us, or, as you've that you want to let people know about you, and anyone, as voters go out and they watch these videos and decide, okay, for this seat, anything that you would want to share with voters and let them know about yourself before they go out and vote?
Okay, I want to share that I am what you see is what you get. I am the kind of I say what I think,
right,
and I do what I say. And what you see is what you get. There's no.
There's no fluff. There's no.
How do you say it in English? There's no.
You can say it in Spanish. We have a lot of viewers that don't understand what you're saying.
No hay trastienda.
Got it. All right, and then election day is around the corner. You're running for city council. Can you tell the exact seat that you're running for?
Group 2.
So you're running for city council group 2. Election day is just around the corner on Tuesday, April 1st. Election days, and the election is being held at the Country Club. If folks want to learn more about you, how should they best reach you?
They can email me at Irma Matos author@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or they can check my website, anobleprofessionbook.com.
Beautiful.
And can reach me through there as well.
Perfect. And then, folks, who do you want folks to vote for on come election day for Council Group 2?
For me.
All right, folks. Irma, we really appreciate it. Early voting is going to be on Saturday and Sunday at the City Hall, and then election day voting is going to be at the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club. Irma's looking for your vote. By all means, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to her. And Irma, we want to thank you for joining us and sharing this time so graciously.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, and thank you, the audience. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that, and thank you for being here, and thank you for what you're doing. Because running for city council takes a lot of commitment to do, and appreciate you doing this. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.